Hey Lana folks, it's Lev. Welcome back to another video for those of you who are new and use him pronouns. So this video idea I did not plan, but I was digging through some of my old photos before, like my old files from like pre-transition and just stuff on my hard drive basically. I was digging up my old hard drive and just seeing what's on there and just looking through stuff. And then I found my first ever YouTube video. This isn't the first YouTube video for this channel. It's the YouTube video that I tried to start 2 years earlier and posted, but I deleted the next day. So a little bit of context, but I'm gonna put the video like right after this and y'all can watch the whole video, like completely raw and edited. That was my first ever video. They didn't make it because I deleted it, and then I'll talk about more after, but context is I tried to start YouTube in 2016, had too much anxiety. I did post that video, deleted it the next day because I had way too much anxiety. And then, yeah, I just kept the video, but I never really did anything with it. So without further ado, here's my video. Also, this was 2016, so way before long before I transitioned. So yes, that too.
Hello. So it's Friday night and I decided to make you another video because I have nothing to do, no jokes. I have like a million assignments, but I just had the urge to make this video, so I'm gonna do it and I'm gonna spam you with it. So lecture 1 is about the brain. So basically, the building block of the brain is the neuron, which is a specialized cell that transmits electrical impulses to other cells or muscle or like tissues, but mainly it's about neuronal communication. So the brain has gray matter as well as white matter. Gray matter is gray matter is basically cell bodies that they're not myelinated, so they're not covered by myelin sheath, which is a white fatty substance that insulates the axon. The axon is basically like a power cord, I guess. And gray matter is used for information signal integration, and white matter is myelinated axons that are used to transmit signals from one place to other rapidly. Next, this part of the brain is the front part, it's called the frontal lobe. There's 4 lobes in the brain. Now I should start with this first way. The brain is divided in half. So there's a left and right hemisphere that's connected by a corpus callosum, which is basically a bundle of nerve fibers that connect, because the left and right hemispheres don't actually touch each other. So yeah, so 4 lobes. There's frontal, parietal, temporal, and occipital. Frontal lobe here is the front. This very front bit is the prefrontal cortex. The frontal lobe is like, I don't know, it's hard to explain. It's hard to show on me right now, but frontal lobe is responsible for voluntary movement, personality, higher order mental processes, analyzing language or partially language. And there's a Broca's area in the frontal cortex, which is the primary motor cortex, which is responsible for voluntary movement, and the left side is responsible for the right side of the body. The left side is responsible for the right side. the right side is responsible for the left side of the body. It crosses over like an X. Surprising, huh? Then there's the parietal lobe, which is like, I don't know, here somewhere. It's responsible for receiving sensations, receiving and processing sensations, which is touch, temperature, pressure, all that. And there's the primary somatosensory cortex, which basically receives all that, and the parietal lobe integrates all that info together. Then there's the temporal lobe, which is right above your ear, near your ear area. That's responsible for memory formation and speech and language as well. I forgot to say, the frontal lobe has Broca's area, which is responsible for speech production of fluent speech. Temporal lobe has Wernicke's area, which is responsible for language comprehension. Yes. And that's only on the left side of the brain. There's only one Broca and one Wernicke's area, but there's each of the 4 lobes are in the right and left hemispheres. And then there's the occipital lobe at the back, which is responsible for visual processing, like images, what you see. And then there's the primary visual cortex at the back. So that's basically the lobes and stuff. What else am I supposed to say? I'll cut the video and I'll get back to you.
So I made that video in April 2016 and I was a first year psych student, and I think I started it because I was studying psych, I had this knowledge and I wanted to share it with the world because I was really passionate about psych, still am 6 years later. Yes, 6 years later, doesn't change that, but I really wanted to share stuff with the world and what I know. I started a channel called Just Random Psychology. That was the video I filmed, uploaded it, put a picture of a brain, like a brain as my profile picture. This was April 2016. Put it up, sent it to like two of my friends. They were really supportive, but then I had too much anxiety. I deleted it the next day. I also had really bad anxiety posting it, and just leaving it up there even just overnight gave me really bad anxiety. And that was where I started. That was my first attempt. That didn't work out because I deleted it the next day, but that was my first ever attempt at content creation and doing YouTube. And at the time too, the time of filming that video, I'm not as confident as I am now. I didn't know how to video edit, not even basic video editing. Didn't know really much about camera angles, lighting. Basically, I didn't know as much as I do now, nor was I as confident as I am now after doing this and getting more experience. Not saying I'm a professional or like I know everything, but know a lot, significantly a lot more compared to that time when I tried to start YouTube, my first attempt. Looking back now, I'm glad I tried at least, even though it didn't end up working. My first attempt, that is. This channel that started in June of 2018 is my second attempt at YouTube. And I also did think about taking my video down, deleting my channel, because I had so much self-doubt. And like, is anyone gonna watch me? Is this content even valuable? Is anyone even gonna support me? Is this a waste of time? I had so much self-doubt about me sharing stuff into the world and whether it was good enough and worth it. That's why I thought about deleting it, because I didn't think it was good enough and that no one would watch me. It was like, why? Like, yeah, it's like I was my worst critic. It's like, who would watch me? Who would want to listen to this content? And yeah, Also looking back, was I sorry? I just like jump topic. Yes, I'm glad I did that even though it didn't work out because it's still a stepping stone. It still showed me that at that time I still had I had a desire to create content. I had a desire to create content. I wasn't as confident nor was I ready at the time to do like something like keep and maintain a YouTube channel, but it still showed the thing inside that I wanted to make content. I wanted to make content. I wanted to put stuff out into the world. I wanted to share my story. At the time, I just wanted to share like psych knowledge, but still sharing something, making my own thing and putting it out to the world. It was still there. And now it's grown into this. I think throughout doing like YouTube content and documenting my journey throughout the past 4 years that I've been making videos, I've started to find myself and reconnect with myself a lot more as well. I make videos, especially like trans stuff and LGBT stuff and mental stuff, not only with the intention of helping others through sharing my stories, but also as a personal documentation thing for me to look back on. Like 5 years down the line, I might look back at this video and I'll be in a completely different place and ideally like a very different person like as well. It's just it's like my whole channel is video documentation of my journey in different ways, and I don't regret doing that whatsoever. I guess my advice or tips, whatever it's called, to anyone who wants to start creating YouTube videos or creating content in general, whether it be blogs, podcasts, like digital media, creating something that is your own and putting it out to the world, go at your own pace. There is no defined timeline of you start here and you have to reach this point, this milestone or this point by a certain time or whenever. There is no timeline. You define your own timeline. Like I did, I defined my own timeline. I tried in 2016, it didn't work. I tried again in 2018 and here I am now. I defined my own timeline. I didn't really even plan my timeline. I didn't plan 2016 try, 2018 try again. Like when in 2017, I didn't think in June 2018, I'm going to try doing YouTube again. I didn't plan that in advance. It just got to that point and where I was at and I'm like, oh, I want to try again now. It just came up. I didn't put pressure on myself, be like, you have to try again at X time in X year. Like I didn't put that pressure on myself because I might not be ready. I just do it when it feels somewhat more comfortable and my brain's like, it's okay to give it another go now. Like trusting your gut as well about when it might be the right time for you. And something else I learned is I do want to do a lot of things in my life. Like I have a lot of projects in mind. I just don't have capacity to do a lot of stuff right now because of full-time work. Like doing another big short film is something on my mind, but it's just unrealistic right now because of my full-time job. It's just a lot to balance. But that doesn't mean that I'm never gonna do that. It's just right now is not the best time. But that doesn't mean that I don't want to do it either. Like it's okay to want to do things, but it's also okay to be realistic with your circumstances and time and resources and consider your whole your life situation really in when you feel comfortable and able to do things. Anyway, back to my point. If there was a point, there was like a 15-minute intermission because it's just really loud background noise and people walking around and I just had to wait for everyone to settle. So I don't recommend, no, what was I saying? Make content that is honest to you. I don't recommend doing a trend for the sake of doing a trend, or like trying to do something that's ingenuine to you to try and get followers or views or whatnot. And I don't say that from personal experience because I haven't done that. Like, I make content that's genuine to me, even though, I don't know, people might not like it, which is fine with me because at least I'm not being dishonest with myself. I think that's the worst part. If I make content, say over all these years, and I look back on it and it's not genuine to me and it's not me, and I'm like, if it's not content I'm not proud of, I'll look back in disappointment and be like, why did I do all of this? And it really isn't worth it. I do not recommend doing that. Make content and art that is genuine to you, whatever that may mean. In saying that, when I did start YouTube, I was very preoccupied with views, subscribers, and repeatedly checked my analytics page. And when my videos didn't hit, or it's like lower view count than I expected, I just felt discouraged because I'm like, no one's viewing my content. My brain goes, not many people are viewing my content, or no one's viewing my content, therefore it's garbage, therefore I should stop making videos because it's not valuable, because if it's valuable, people watch it. If no one's watching, then it must be garbage. This is what my brain tells me. It must be garbage, therefore you should stop YouTube and stop trying. And then it goes like this, and then it goes like this, and this, and this, and this, and then it just feels very discouraging. It's like, what is the point of doing this if there's no one watching? And then I started to like break out of that cycle and start flipping the perspective. It's like, even if no one or very little people are watching, I don't know why I did that with my eyes. Even though no one or very little people are watching, relatively speaking, I'm still making content for me. It's stuff I can look back on and reflect on how far I've come. And then I flipped the perspective, started like ingraining the perspective that I'm making content for myself, as opposed to I'm making content to try and get views. I make content for myself. If people watch it, that's awesome. That's great. That's a bonus. But I'm making content for myself primarily, and just putting it out there as an extra second. And just having this flip in perspective, like, I'm not saying I don't focus on subscribers and views. Sometimes my brain just wants to go back to the old times and like, oh, no one's watching. Now I'm just starting to say, no one's watching, that's okay. You're still making content for yourself, Lev. Like, that's the perspective I'm taking, and it really, really helps. Make content for myself. Making content for myself. That's all the thoughts I had for this video. It's a video that's relatively different to most of my other videos, but I hope you enjoyed it nonetheless. I do have more video ideas coming up. Like, I plan to make a video talk about my food allergies and the medical side of that stuff, and how like living in this world with food allergies and all of my experiences regarding that. So I plan to make that video next, so stay tuned if you'd like to see that. Thank you for watching, and take care, and I'll see you in the next video.